movie, kids?
Good.
If you take off your belt, Cody.
Take my belt.
So, we just watched the movie Damsel, and it's starring that young lady from what TV, what show?
Stranger Things.
Got to speak up a little louder.
Stranger Things. Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown, and I have to tell you, she did a damn good job. I'm super impressed. I know that when I saw her in another movie, she was looking a little too androgynistic for me. I couldn't tell if she was a boy or a girl. So it was great to see that she's not only a girl, she's a beautiful woman. You know, and I thought that was kind of cool. Maddie, what you doing with the chin? Yeah, Maddie has this thing where she does this. Yeah, I just don't want her doing that today.
No, I'm not.
All right?
That.
All right, so stop that, okay? Don't trigger your father. Come on. Anyway, what did you guys think of the movie? First, let me ask that. All right, come on, baby. I can't hear you. You have to stick. You have to. If you're gonna do this, babe, I love you, but you can't now start talking like this whenever it's time for you to talk. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So put your hand down all the way. Thank you. I'm not being aggressive with her. I just, you know, she wants to be in videos. She has to do videos the proper way. What did you rate it, Cody? A 10. That's a huge big score. All right. What did you rate it, Cody?
6.
What a difference.
At the first, when it started, I didn't. It was like a right, but when it keeps on going, it's really good.
Yeah, when it started, I had to snap you out of it and say, pay attention. Pay
I wasn't really
attention.
into it at the start.
Yeah, 'cause both of them were like, yeah, okay, we got this medieval times.
Yeah.
You know, so what timeline in your guy? Cody's 13, Maddie's 11. American kids. Not too much, no Shakespearean children I have here. What in your minds do you think this timeline was? When did this exist? When was the time of this movie? What was the timeline?
1900.
Can you loosen this right here? Because you have such a nice shirt on. Let's show that shirt off. Bing, bang.
1900s.
1900s. You know, in the 1900s, we had the diesel engine in the 1900s. In the 1900s, we had
Wait, actually, I think I'm gonna change my answer.
what?
I think it was like later.
I think you mean earlier.
Yeah, earlier. I don't think it was like that long ago because like.
Oh wait. You think it was? You think the 1900s was too old?
Yeah, too. Because like.
You think the 1900s were too far back? 1900.
Because like.
Wait. 1921. 1935. 1945. Your grandmother was born. So you saying this movie took place 20 years before your grandmother was born?
No, not before. After.
Wait. After she was born?
I'm saying like it was later. Like it probably happened like we're in 2024.
Your grandmother was born in 1945. How many years do you think this story took place before your grandmother was born?
You know, I'll say 1800s because there
the
would have been
1800s.
police involved if it was the 1900s.
There would have been police involved.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's such an interesting way of putting it. There would have been cops in the 1900s stopping this. Okay.
So I'll say early 1800s.
Early 1800s. Okay.
I don't even know.
What were you going to say, though, babe?
I thought about it.
Aw. I would say this movie was not 100 years, not 200 years, not 300 years, not 400 years before your grandmother was born. I would say even 500 years before your grandmother was born. Your grandmother was born in 1945. This thing took place 400 to 500 years before your grandmother was born. Yes. What do you think about that?
I think that's true too. I don't think it's anything after 1850.
No. This is
I
1850,
know what you're
then
saying.
1750, then 1650, 1550. I'm saying this happened in the 1400s.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm saying it can happen from there, but nothing past 1850 is probably the limit.
No, dude. It's not even existing. In the 1800s, we were having civil wars here in America. In 1700s, we had in 1776. Then we have that big, huge civil war in America where we were fighting. Didn't you learn that?
Yes.
1776. So this is 200-300 years before that. I think in the 1500s is when they were taking metal and melting it into those swords and all that kind of stuff. You know, that was happening in the 1500s. That's when they were taking rock and melting it, and blacksmiths and all that stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little perspective on how far this movie is taking place.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about the opening scene where you have the king and all his men and he's screaming, "Create a line! Get a line!" Like they were like so brave and so, you know.
I thought that they need to be quiet.
They were too loud in this cave experience, right?
It's like, shush. Like, are you trying to get the good? Like, there's a huge.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the beginning. In the beginning, it was the king and his men, and they went up against the dragon, and we saw that perspective. Later on in the movie, that perspective changed when we found out the truth of what they were doing there. Do you remember what they were doing there? What were they doing there?
Killing the dragon's babies.
Right. So basically, we got a story that's taking place in the 1600s. Possibly not. I don't think the 1300s because of the swords. You gotta. I just something in my mind remembers the swords being part of that whole certain period. They call that the Iron Age. The Iron Age. You ever heard of that? The Iron Age is when we figured out how to make these swords and we figured out how to kill people with them. And we would go from town to town and just charge people taxes and make people pay money, and if they didn't, they get killed. So here's the thing. We have this movie that's set at a time that people like us really don't know. My kids kind of thought it was like 100 years ago, no big deal. And we have this king who's in this huge cave, so this cave-esque experience, and he has these men, and they seem very courageous, and of course they all get killed. They all get killed by this dragon. So we already hate the dragon from the very beginning. We already hate the dragon. Okay? So did you hate the dragon from the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, and towards the end, how did you feel about the dragon at the end of the movie? We jump all the way to the end.
I had less hatred for him.
Less
I
hatred.
didn't have any hatred for it because, like, I realized, like, how you gonna come into the dragon's house place where it lives, kill its babies, and then just think that you're just gonna walk off like everything's cool? They still killed her 3 kids. They still killed 3 dragon babies. And, like, there was no more of her dragon, no more of her kind. So, it's not like she could just go and make more babies. Those were like the only 3 babies that she could have.
Right.
And they just killed them. So I didn't have any hatred for her.
Okay. Well, what about the part? How did you guys feel when the prince? See, so basically, they get this letter. This letter is sent to the woman, Bobby. What's her name? Millie Bobby Brown's mother and father. That's a king, and the mother is not her biological mother, it's her stepmother. She kept calling her stepmother, come here, stepmother.
She was like British.
it was a British sounding voice, right? And how did you feel about the stepmother being black?
I thought that was cool.
That was cool. What about you, Cody?
Me too.
Okay, so you thought it was cool, the stepmother being black. You know, the first thing I did, because I am a 50-year-old man, was go, oh my God, they always gonna, like, now it's like every movie, even if it's not period based, they always gotta put every movie now, there's always a black person in the movie. And a lot of times I don't like it. I think it's not necessary if it doesn't fit the timeline. But then I kept remembering about Putin. Putin is the president of Russia.
Yeah.
He just released all this information a few months ago that Jesus was black. And he has all the paperwork to prove it. He has all the old scrolls from 500-600 years ago. And everybody in there was black. Everyone. It was like crazy.
Where's the proof?
He has, you know, this is like the president of the United States of America, but this is the president of Russia. You know, they got archives and they have paperwork from hundreds of years. And he has all this paperwork that he released to the internet, to the world, and saying that Jesus was black. And he has pictures of, like, all the pictures that we see of Jesus being all white with the hair. He has pictures of Jesus with an afro, with gray dread, all kind. Yo, it's bizarre. So I was like, kind of like, I didn't get that. I was like, oh, okay. So Putin helped me kind of deal with that issue of me being a little irritated where everything you see constantly keeps including black people where it doesn't fit the story, but maybe it does fit the story. Maybe this didn't go too far off with the stepmother of this young lady being black. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool with the new perspective that I have, because I usually have an old perspective where I go, come on, man, what are we doing here? Look, these guys are about to fight. Road rage. Okay, it's over. They closed the door. They're being mature.
Fight.
Guys, calm that down. We're not promoting that. You see, the algorithm is going to hear you say these things. We're not supposed to be promoting that stuff. We're not promoting violence. They're over it. Look, he's driving off. He's going about his business. So, after... okay, focus. Madison, focus. So now... we're in a situation where, can we move that red jacket behind you a little bit? Like, no, put it down. It's a little too distracting for me. Put it on one of the chairs on the side until later. Okay, so, yeah, that looks so much better. Because there was too much red. So now, we have the situation where we have the mother, who's a stepmom, raising these two girls, and one of them gets a letter from this prince, and this prince is looking for a wife. So the young woman and the man, they start to correspond through letters. Remember, she had the letter.
Yeah.
Did you see the part of the letter when she finally met the guy, and she said about the heart, and he didn't know that it was a heart?
Yeah.
Did you see the way the heart looked? What did you think about that?
I didn't see a heart. It just looked like a bunch of like little circles that had like just kept going in the inside, and it was red and blue. It didn't look nothing like a heart.
And what do you think about the heart, Maddie?
It kind of looked like a circle, and it had like little tiny, like little boxes, and then on the bottom I could see like a little flower.
Okay, let me tell you why you didn't see that. Because what the picture was a picture of an actual heart. The way the heart looks with the valves, the heart valves coming out, it was, and the heart looks like kind of like a mango, like the shape of a mango, and then it has these little things. Exactly, those little things were called valves, heart valves. We all, in our heart, attached to it are valves, and when the heart pumps, it pushes blood all throughout the body, different parts of the body. It is just constantly just pulsating all through the body. So in this letter, she actually had the actual picture of what a heart looks like. Started making me think, like, wait a minute, this young lady sent this guy a picture of an actual heart, so that means she's been around open chess, like wars maybe. open to see what a heart looks like, she must have been around some sort of death so it made me feel like, okay, so we got a young lady here who's maybe around doc. Go ahead, what are you gonna say?
It's probably from her mom.
Her mom.
Her mom died. That's why she had the stepmother. She was talking about, but she wasn't really talking about actually like her mother died. So maybe when you say she was around death, that's probably from her mom. Maybe they like put up things.
Maybe they did something like some experiments or something. Well, she knew what the heart looked like. That was kind of cool. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. And what did you think about when they got to the castle? Like, all right, so finally they head out, because here's the thing. Her father, Millie Bobby Brown's father is, what's her name?
They call her in the show. They call her Ellie.
Ellie? I thought it was
Well,
something.
Ellie,
that
I
was
never
her-
heard
that was
somebody
her
say that.
For sure. They were calling her Ellie, like her little sister. They were calling her Ellie.
Okay. I knew it started with an E, and I thought there was like a little something
Aloy?
else. I don't know, but I know. I
It's
don't
like
know.
Elliot.
Okay. Well, um, she. We're gonna fast forward a little bit. She just goes. She gets on the ship with her family, and they're gonna go meet the guy who is trying to marry her. And the father says, "Wow, this is a great opportunity for them to now pay me, and I'll have enough money to take care of my kingdom, because his kingdom was like kind of beat up, and wasn't growing grain and wheat and all that kind of stuff." What do you think about the idea that a father would jump on a ship, travel to a place where he is going to get his daughter married, and in return they're going to give him a bunch of gold and riches for him to like survive? Like, in other words, his whole kingdom is going to survive because of the marriage. What do you think about that kind of arrangement of marriage like that?
That's always sick. Like, why would he? So basically, he traded his daughter for money.
Right.
Gold.
Right.
Like, so he knew that he was going to trade his daughter, so they could drop her in that dungeon, and he'll get some money. So he traded his daughter, knowing that they were going to kill her to get money.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tried to act like that little fake thing, how he went in the dragon nest trying to look for her. I don't get that. Like, if he knew, like, why would he come looking for her though?
Why would he come looking for his
Yeah,
daughter?
remember when she yeah.
Why would he sacrifice his daughter and then come back to look for her?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. They paid him all that money, right? But they also told him that they're going to sacrifice her. See, that's part of the movie they didn't tell us. Remember when he came out of the room all flustered and confused, and his wife was like, "What's going on? What happened? What happened? What happened? Are we gonna be?" And he just was so distraught because he basically said that they gave me more gold than I could ever imagine. So they gave him so much money that he was willing to sacrifice his daughter, but then he had second thoughts after she was gone. Mind you, she was gone a whole day. He went looking for her like a day late, if you let me tell it, right? Yeah. It wasn't like, and then the mom, the stepmother, who's played by Angela Bassett. She's the woman who played Tina Turner. She's done so many movies. She's a really, really great actress or actor.
I know her. I've seen her.
Okay, and do you remember where you saw her from?
No.
Okay, no big deal. But I thought her acting, I thought the father's acting, I thought the other queen, I thought everyone's acting was pretty spot on. Go ahead.
I seen, like, on the billboard, she's in The Color Purple.
The Color Purple. Okay, right. I don't know, but I'm sure if you say so, I'll take your word for it. I didn't see that movie. But anyway, I digress from The Color Purple. Also, we have a young lady. What did you think about the challenges of her having to figure out how to get out of this? Because they literally take her and throw her into this, to the pit where this
and they got her because,
dragon is.
Yeah, and they got her because, like, they were married, so like when when they're like your husband picks you up and like in your wedding dress.
Right.
So he picked her up because she's like, okay, we're married, so he's just gonna walk me down to our village. So he picked
Like something
her up,
romantic.
And he walked, and then.
Yeah, but he did say sorry though. Did you see him say I'm sorry?
Yeah.
And she woke up. She said, "Close your eyes."
Oh yeah.
And she felt him. She felt him like trembling, and she looked at him, and she knew right away. Oh my God, something ain't right here. And he just threw her. I thought that was a good scene, which reminds me of the ending when he finally meets his doom from this dragon, so to speak. No, this dragon, he just closed his eyes and he like wanted to die.
Yeah, I saw that.
He
did.
knew that
Yeah.
he deserved it.
He deserved
Like,
it.
he wasn't gonna run her.
He didn't deserve it. That was his parents that was making him do that.
Yes, he did deserve it.
Well, at what point do you
didn't
not
have to
do what
that.
the parents exactly?
Like, he didn't have to do that. Like, and he's like a grown man type thing. He's like 20, and every child or every person that age does not listen to their parents. So like, you're just gonna oh my God, my parents are telling me to kill all these girls, so I'm just do it. Like, you could say no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Like, but so that's not even an excuse for him. So he did deserve to die. Like, what is his problem? Like, killing all those innocent girls.
Good argument, Maddie. I agree with that to some degree. I definitely can see where you're coming from. He does have free will. He does have choice. He could have left the whole kingdom, moved to a whole nother area.
Yeah.
You know, took a little bit of gold and just kept it pushing. You know, what say you about that, Cody? About that idea that he was in control and he could have not done what he was doing.
I think. I mean, I wouldn't have just left like that. Like, he wasn't really in control. It was his parents. So it wasn't really his fault to die. His parents are making him do that, and you can't just be like, no, I'm not doing that. Well, he did do that once when the little girl didn't want when they were gonna cut her sister's hand.
I know,
Right.
So he's fine when he's killing some teenagers and some about to be grown women, but oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't want to kill her. And when he doesn't want to kill, like, come on. Like,
So you're saying he had a heart
He's
for
not
the
really
child,
killing
but not...
them. He's just leaving them to die.
Right.
dropping them down a dungeon with rocks and bricks down there.
I'm not arguing with you. He's not killing them. He's leaving them to die.
Right. I agree with both of you guys. He is leaving them to die, and
Killing them.
well, maybe not.
He's
I understand what Cody's saying.
He's
I have to.
technically hoping that they die.
Well, he
He's
wants
not
to pay
even
the debt
hoping.
of the king who died. The king who died and made a promise to the dragon because of the killing of the dragons. Well, at first they make us believe that he's like some noble man going into the dragon's lair to slay the dragon, but really that wasn't his thing. He went into the lair so that he can kill the children of this, like kill that lifeline. And then they made an agreement that he would give up his children. So that's why they were cutting the hands, and they would cut the royal's hand and the girl's hand, put it together, and they connected in a way where now the dragon would believe that the dragon would smell the blood of that royal blood. That royal bloodline has a certain smell to it, a texture to it, or something like that.
So she was trying to kill let's call her Ellie because her sister was calling her Ellie.
Okay.
So she was trying to kill the dragon was trying to kill Ellie because they had the royal blood in it. So like you said, they used to cut the hand and then squeeze them together so the royal blood would go into her. So now the dragon wants to kill her because the royal people killed her kids. So all royal people that goes in there is gonna die. So that's the reason why she tried to kill her.
And was it believable, her character going against this dragon? Did you say to yourself, come on?
Yeah, she should have been dead.
I didn't think she.
I'm not saying I'm wishing death, but like that's not realistic. Any of that.
Here's the thing. I would normally agree with you, except for the part where, did you see how they did a flashback of all the different girls or women that were in that area where she fell asleep and they wrote their names on the wall? They
Yeah.
scratched their name on the wall.
Yeah.
See, it was, this movie was kind of very smart because they know that they're gonna have girls and women that want to see this movie. They're gonna have their boyfriends watch it, and their boyfriends the whole time is gonna be rolling their eyes like, this little girl cannot fight this good, and now she's gonna fight the dragon. But what we have to understand is that this dragon would have fun with the girls, and he would push them into different areas, and they all basically would, he would do the dragon would do the fire just so they'll run to a certain area. Some of them would get a little burnt, some of their arms were burnt, all these different things. The dragon kept pushing them into the same exact direction, so everyone went to the same direction. It wasn't until she came to that room where she saw some sort of map that was scratched out on the wall, and that map had her believe there is a way out of here if I can make it up to this
That was
point.
a setup.
Yeah, well, what's probably happened was the girls thought they draw it on the walls. They say, "Oh yeah, this is how to get out of here." And when they got there, they realized that not necessarily it was a setup, but it didn't work. And that was her climbing that crystal wall. What did you think about that crystal wall?
That was cool.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
It was a cool scene. They didn't show her coming down. She just made her way down because we would have, we'd have been like, "Oh no way, get out of here."
She jumped.
No, she didn't jump. She climbed down.
Save her sister.
I can't hear you with your. Okay. Not when she went to save her sister. When she went to save her sister, it was interesting that she came back into the not lion's den, but into the dragon's lair.
Yeah.
And the dragon talked.
I don't know if I would have went.
What did you think about the dragon talking? I wanted to ask that about.
That was so fake.
It was so fake. And the word, what do you mean by that?
Like the dragon. It was like, nah. It was like, why? It was something like that.
So you just do you believe that a dragon can't talk, or you believe that the voice that this dragon was sucked?
No, the dragons cannot talk.
Really? How many dragons have you come across?
0.
Every dragon I see in every show, it always talks. I never seen a
Right.
dragon that does not talk.
All right, a lot of dragons, yeah, they do talk. A lot of dragons talk in movies, and in books. I've read a book with a dragon. Well, we won't know because we don't have any contact with dragons at the moment in this reality we're in.
Yeah, dragons could talk. How do you know that dragons don't talk? Dragons aren't even considered an animal, and nobody ever seen a dragon before. So why are you assuming it can't
What
talk?
animal talks? There is.
Dragon isn't an animal.
What is it?
Something somebody made up. I
You don't
guess.
think dragons ever existed? This is part of our like.
Dragon's like a unicorn.
Okay. Okay. That's a good analogy. I like that. Dragons are like unicorns. Okay. Well, we have the dragon. The dragon and her are fighting, going through their drama. She's being pushed into a certain direction, and then she kind of figures out how to get out of this. And what really helped her was a distraction of her father looking for her, yelling for her, screaming for her.
Yeah.
And that helped distract the dragon, where she was able to get into a more get into a better part of this lair. And then of course the father gets the father makes an amends. He apologizes to the daughter for putting her in that situation, and he's so sorry. What did you think about the scene about the father, when the father is apologizing to basically his daughter for having her go to a place where she was doomed to
That was kind of
killed.
trash.
Yeah,
I would curse him out. Like,
you would
why
curse your
you do
dad
that?
out. You would say, "Why you do that?" What else? What would you say, Maddie? What would you think?
No, like,
What do you think her character should have said?
should have cursed him out.
Okay. What do you think about her character? What should she have said?
I would have said, she should have just said nothing. If she would have cursed somebody out, that would have probably ruined the movie.
I don't think
But
so.
it is possible, right? We have to think about this. It is possible that when she heard her father, of course, you want to hear your father come come try to rescue you, and she probably thought that her father was tricked just like she was.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the very last second where he kind of like lets her know that he's sorry for, you know, agreeing to that, because that's what he did do. He agreed to her being sacrificed. Anyway,
It's his fault.
it's the father's fault for thinking about his people and not his blood. Should he have thought about his? Should a person? You know how they say the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the
Sorry,
few.
Madison, can you please stop hitting my chair? I feel you keep doing it.
Hey! We're not bickering. You're gonna stop moving your leg. Period. Period.
I'm moving my leg.
Why
I
you
feel you.
why
My
you back
seat going
talking
back
me?
and forth.
Can you stop? Your brothers look back and look down. He's giving you hints. You're not taking hints. Now his face is stuck. I'm not here to do a show with you guys if this is how we're gonna do it. You understand? Do we understand?
That's
It's
that.
done.
All right. So just behave. Yeah, when somebody goes like this, that's giving you a clue, Maddie. All right. So we have this movie here. Maddie gave it a 10. Cody gave it a 6. I would give it a strong 7. I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it would make a good date movie if you're chilling with your.
A date movie?
Yeah, like if you're with your girl and she wants to watch one of these movies where women are like in control and strong and stuff like that and get to fight the dragon, because all the movies we've seen is men fighting dragons. We don't get to see women fight dragons. And normally I would roll my eyes to that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of corny that they had a woman fighting a dragon.
Right.
I didn't really. That's what gave it like kind of a sick. If it was a man, it would be more, but a woman, just nah.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have fit this story. Every dragon, obviously every dragon has a different story. And this story is, you killed my babies, now you have to sacrifice yours in order for me to let you have a kingdom where you can live comfortably.
Dang.
And before we had that little interruption, I was talking about the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few. You see, there's this idea that if you have hundreds of people suffering, then 1 or 2 people giving up their lives, no big deal. You know, it's worth it to help the other people. Do you think that if this young lady was given a choice to sacrifice herself for her people, would she have done it?
No, because she was saying she's not a part of those people so many times when she was fighting the dragon.
No, when she was telling the dragon she's not part of these people, she was saying she's not part of the royal people. But I'm talking about her knowing that her group of people are hungry and they're suffering.
I think she would have done it. I would have done it.
What about you, Maddie? What do you think about that? Would you have sacrificed yourself? Like, would you knowingly had went into that dragon's lair knowing that you're going to die, but knowing that your father and everybody in the kingdom are going to be able to survive and be rich? Would you sacrifice yourself for the many?
I would do it like she did it for her sister and her stepmom and her dad. I would do it for my sister, for my brother, and my mom and my dad. I wouldn't do it for nobody else. Like if
Anyone else?
like if it was just a kingdom and you guys weren't in it, then no. But if you guys were in it, then yeah.
Okay. So for your immediate family, you're willing to sacrifice. But for the needs of others, you would say, you guys got to work a little harder.
No, I'll do
Eat
it
a little
for
less.
any.
I don't know who
Probably.
it is though.
You would do it for who?
For both.
It depends who's in it. Like if it's like my best friend, is it like my friends, or is it just like people in the kingdom?
Well, you know, you're compartmentalizing this question, which means that you're putting it into little boxes where people don't know what's going on. They don't see the full picture.
I would only do it for like my friends and family. I wouldn't do it for like just people in the kingdom. No.
Right. Well, I think that's an interesting question that we're raising, is that would this young lady do it knowingly? And I would argue that she wouldn't, because I think she was happy with the poorness of the land and the country that she was in. I think she was totally comfortable in that situation. You know, I think she didn't have any regret. I think moving and getting all the riches wasn't important to her.
Oh, you talking about? I thought you were talking about like if I die, then like my people get to stay there and like live. But if I don't die, then we all die. But yeah. If I yeah, I wouldn't go. I would be fine, just like how she was at first.
Right. Yeah, yeah. She didn't seem like the type that would volunteer for death so that her kingdom could live, because as far as she's concerned, the kingdom is fine. I think this is a good review. I'm sorry there was a couple of little tips in here, but you guys are kids and your priorities are, very whimsical. Just I love y'all, and I think this is a good interview. You still stand by your 6? Maddie, you stand by your 10?
Yeah.
I stand by my 7. It's a good movie. I recommend it. You should check it out if you get a chance. It's good to see this woman kind of like, getting these grown-up roles and looking good. Say bye, y'all.
Bye.
Give me a smile, Maddie. Come on.